So now I'm going to move on and talk about who will actually benefit most from a system of school choice. I've illustrated why there will be a greater incentive for schools to adapt and respond to the needs of the students at their school. And the second thing that I've pointed out is that schools will be more diverse and better in responding to the needs of those particular children. So let's deal with the central claim of the negative team, that school vouchers only help white and bright students. The people who currently receive the worst education in New Zealand are not the white and bright students. They are poor students who can't get out from their local school. I challenge the negative team to name one aspect of the free market in which poor people are as disadvantaged as they are in regards to schooling, ladies and gentlemen. Poor people go to the same supermarkets that everybody else does. They can go to a restaurant, ladies and gentlemen, that a rich person could go to. And that's great. We think it's great that when you go, that they have choice in regards to all of those. The free market provides food, clothing, and a whole variety of goods for poor people. If you accept what John Minto said, what did John tell you? John told you. Well, I'm sorry, but it's true. You told us that as soon as you implement a school voucher system, schools are only going to want to accept the rich and the intelligent. But we know that that's not true because we see supermarkets and a huge number of industry in the private market responding to the needs of a whole variety of diverse individuals, be they poor or wealthy. That's the fact. It's still good to educate poor people, and there's still a market for it. This is the point. He said there wouldn't be. I'm saying there is a market for that, and therefore they will still be educated. It's also very interesting that he pretended that he was a spokesman for the poorest people in New Zealand, because I want to talk to him about some evidence from the United States, where the Washington Post recently conducted a poll which revealed that blacks supported school choice, 64% of blacks supported school choice, 44% of whites supported school choice, 82% of Hispanics supported school choice. Why? Because they know what it's like to be locked into the bad local school. They want to take the money that they pay in taxes elsewhere and send their kids to a good school. That's why you get higher rates of minority support for school choice, and why you get lower amongst those people who can send their children to the school that they want. The second point that I want to make is the point about Milton Friedman. This isn't so much related to the school choice thing, but I just want to come to the defense of the great man. The point that Milton made was that the free market is a necessary but not sufficient aspect that is required before democracy would reign free, would come to fruition. He was right. Pinochet's gone. Chile is now the most successful economy in South America with the highest standards of living. So if you want to make jokes about Milton Friedman, what you're really saying is that the reforms that Pinochet implemented, which have led to the productive wealth of the Chilean economy now, are something that we should deplore. We shouldn't. We should celebrate. The last point that I would like to make is Grant talked about how public schools can innovate and how public schools are so great. My question to him is, why then does he fear public schools having to compete against private schools on an equal level? If public schools are so great, then people will exercise their school choice to attend those same public schools. The fear that Grant has is that more people are going to go to private schools and reveal the fact that our public schools are failing the children of today, that they're leaving with lower literacy rates, with lower numeracy rates. And that's the real problem with the negative teams. I want to finish with just a quick case example. I promise it will be quick. I wanted for this debate the worst possible example that I could find for educational reform in a direction of school choice. And I found that after Hurricane Katrina had devastated New Orleans, Milton Friedman wrote an article in which he advocated for school choice for the New Orleans people. He said, now's the time to implement it. This is what Naomi Klein described as disaster capitalism, and said that this was the most despicable reform of education that had ever yet occurred. What's interesting is that 2 years on from that reform, something very interesting happened to the schools in New Orleans. That year, the number of 4th graders who passed the statewide exam went up by 12%. The number of 8th graders who passed the statewide exam went up by 10%. In fact, for the first time that the history of state results have been recorded, New Orleans beat the state average. If that wasn't good for New Orleans, I want to hear what is from the negative team. And finally, if they can just get beyond the idea that if we just funded more, all the problems will go away. I've never heard of a government program that just needs more funding. We must change the incentives under which schools operate, allow parents to choose the school that they want to send their kids to, and that is the only way to improve educational results.